Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing? This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru. And y'all know I love helping women align with their life purpose using ancient wisdom so that they confidently and courageously live the amazing lives they know they deserve. Yes, you do, sisters. Yes, you do. If there are any men out there watching, you deserve it too. I love everybody. I really do. But y'all know what? It's all about the goddess lifestyle. This is what I love to share with you all, because when we live in a divinely feminine way, for the sisters out there, we're aligning with our natural rhythms. I'm telling you, we soar. And so, what I wanted to get on this evening and talk about is just some foundational wisdom to share, because I tell you, as somebody who studies spirituality daily, who live spirituality, I I call it spiritual hygiene. Like, we have to stay on our spiritual game day in and day out. Doesn't matter how much you know, okay? We all have to do this. And so it's always good to come back to our spiritual foundations. And so I first of all want to just thank you all for being here with me all week. It's been so much fun. I'm glad to be here a little bit later in the day, but I'm here. And so, yeah, let me know if you're watching live. And if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay, what I always tell my inner circle members is that the replay is respectable, y'all. The replay is respectable, because guess what? Because the replay is there, you don't miss out. So hashtag replay if you are watching. And there she is. Mwah, Jasmine. How you doing, miscellaneous AB? What's up, baby girl? So I'm going to talk to you all a bit about something that I talked about in my inner circle on Monday. I do want to just mention to you all that if you look in the comments or the description box, I have put out a mini reading offer. So I just want to mention that. You can see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. I also put links in the comments. But yeah, if you are wanting to get a reading, it's been like a year since I put this out. Feel free to place your order. There are 20 slots, or your request. I don't like saying order for readings, but go ahead and request your reading. And thank you. Okay, I understand, Jasmine. You have a wonderful evening. Love you. I appreciate you. But yeah, there's 20 slots. And so, yeah, you can go on ahead and get that reading that I'm sure a lot of people have been wanting to get for a while. So let's talk about the what I wanted to talk about this evening is spiritual evolution and enlightenment. There is something that is foundational to that process happening. And one of the spiritual traditions that I study on a regular basis, it is called Ifa. It is also the Orisha tradition. It is African. So many people want to know more about this tradition. And so I love talking about it. It infuses and colors so much of what I teach, even if I'm not saying the exact words and teachings. It is part of my spiritual foundation. And so the other night, my inner circle and I were talking about this book. It is called Inner Peace, the Yoruba concept of Ori. And so, what is Ori? Ori is the higher self. And see, we were talking about, or have been talking about, the importance of connecting to the higher self, making your connection to your higher self the number one priority. Okay. So I taught a class last month in the inner circle about the higher self. And because some people are like, hey, I want to learn more about the Ori. How do I connect with the Ori? And as I did that class, it was as if I had a moment of revelation. And like we talked about yesterday, inspiration. that reminded me of how the number one goal that I can have actually in life is understanding my connection with my Ori, with my higher self, is what we call it. In the Hindu tradition, it would be called Ganesha. And so part of the reason is one of the things that is taught in Ifa is that everybody has their own personal Ori. Your Ori has come here just for you. My Ori has come here just for me. And so um, part of the awakening process is actually awakening to this expanded aspect of ourselves. And um, and and the more we do that, and of course it takes spiritual practices, some of it takes life, to wake up to the higher self. Another thing is it takes us connecting to or going for goals, because what happens when you go for something that you have not yet achieved is you have to expand yourself. You have to move beyond what you previously believed about yourself. And that's part of the awakening process. Something that I taught quite a bit last year is there was an astrological aspect that was about accessing deep inner resources that were untapped at this point. It's almost like when we think about, how people drill deep into the earth if they're looking for something. So it's so deep that it's not tapped, like it's pure. It has not been, you know, adulterated in any way because it's so deep within the earth. So we have those kind of resources. And so when we strive and go for something that we haven't yet achieved, part of what ends up happening is we're able to tap into inner resources that we didn't know were there. And a large part of that process is the Ori. Now, the next thing that I'll tell you about the Ori, the higher self, is just a simple way of understanding it, is to understand that um, when we are led, guided, and directed. So, for instance, yesterday I talked about the importance of trusting your intuition, in cultivating your intuition. Hello, Karen. Welcome. Glad you're here. And cultivating that intuition. And part of this is because this is how we have communication with our higher self, with our Ori. So it's so important for us to make sure that, or just to know that, why do we do this work? We do this work because this is what is leading us to a more expansive place. And just like this book is called Inner Peace, this is what begins to happen as we cultivate our relationship with our Ori. And our Ori, through our intuition, we begin to hear from our Ori. It leads, guides, and directs us unto what, just like we talked about yesterday, inspiration. See, if we begin to realize that really and truly inspiration is like the best way to move through the world, and that's not to negate logic. I respect logic. I really do. I'm an intellectual. I am very much an intellectual. I like to be able to explain some things, even though I can be very like, spirit told me. I don't know how I knew. And I don't need an explanation, but there's some things where I'm like, no, I need some science. Okay. I need some technique. But inspiration is how Ori begins to let us know what direction we're supposed to move in. And so it behooves us to cultivate our relationship. So many of us are just like, I really want to know, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? And what I encourage you to do is to begin to cultivate a relationship with this part of yourself that is not seen. It's on the outside of the the physical realm. And so it does take doing some inner work. It does take listening to that intuition and beginning to see Oh my gosh, there is a higher wisdom that's leading, guiding, and directing me. And like I told my inner circle, if you want proof of your Ori, all you have to do is study your body. Nobody is making their lungs work. Nobody is churning the food and doing all of what we do with our digestion and elimination. No one's making the heart beat, the blood flow, keeping the homeostasis of our bodies. We don't do that. It is the infinite wisdom of the universe in the form of our own Ori. And what if we allowed the wisdom that runs our body to move to the foreground of our lives and lead, guide, and direct us? And so, like I said, there is nobody who we look up to spiritually who does not have challenges, who does not have to have their reminders. I'm one of those people. I am seriously on a journey of growth. I have not arrived. And so it really behooves us to go on ahead and make sure we are on our game. So I just wanted to go through this book a little bit, just to kind of go over some things that I went over on Monday with my inner circle, because I find it to be so fascinating. Let me know if you're here. Also, if you have any questions, I would love to hear your questions. Do you work with your Ori? Do you work with your higher self? Do you have practices? Is this something that you even think about? And if not, what are you thinking about what I'm telling you? Is it resonating? Is it not? So, one of the things that I wanted to mention that is very empowering as I see it, and I would love to hear from you all, is the concept of personal responsibility. And part of the reason this is such an important concept is because um, when we understand how the universe actually works, then we can begin to work in tandem with our Ori to create the life that we desire. The kicker is that it's really important for us to make sense of whatever shows up in our lives. I'm so cautious about this because I know so many. I cater to women, and I know the statistics of abuse for us. This is real, and I would never say anyone brought this, any kind of abuse on herself, right? But what we want to do is, even the situations that we did not have control over, we definitely want to take that situation. We want to take everything that we experience in our lives and begin to choose how we're going to, like, what are we going to tell ourselves about this? What sense are we going to make of this? Okay. So, and part of what ends up happening is when we decide what our story is, then we get to decide the direction that we're going to take, because we live, it's called quantum physics. We live in a multiverse. There's like so many options. It's an infinite number of options. And it's just based on whatever we're choosing, whatever we're believing is what am I trying to say? Whatever we're choosing, whatever we're believing, it is what dictates the next experience that we have. And I'm on my toes right now, y'all. I'm on my toes because I'm telling you, I'm growing up right now. I'm growing up. Um, And so this is really important, because how do we do this? See, when we're just operating from, okay, I'm just Tyra, versus I am Tyra and I have an aspect of myself called the higher self that is assisting me. And so now I feel more empowered because I'm working in tandem with this energy, this infinite wisdom and potential that is a part of me. So it's important for us to begin to do that. Hey, Savisa. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you. How are you, Queen? Nice. Okay, so I just want to read a little bit of something that I have here. So one of the things that this author is saying is that this particular spiritual tradition, one of the main aspirations that we have is to build good character. And One of my teachers describes good character as doing the right thing in the right way when no one is looking. That is good character. And so he's talking about how it's important for us to um, develop good character, and it's a balance between our head and our heart. And our head, it could be the logical head, um, and the heart could be, what we're living for, but it's also like our destiny and the ori, our higher selves. We're wanting to keep a balance between the two. And this is one of the reasons why I say, if we're hanging out in a part of ourselves too much, like this is one of the reasons why identity shifts on a regular basis is important. It's nice just to change up who you say you are, right? Because if we hang out in an area too long, that balance between our head and our heart can, not be there. And so one of the things he says also is the good news is that changing ourselves is always 100% possible and always 100% within our goal. And I love this line. It's not possible to change the world because every new generation brings back the same set of challenges back to earth. It is possible to meet those challenges with good character and to learn about yourself in the process. And this is one of the reasons I love this spiritual tradition, because it's very simple. It's very, very simple. And think about some of the things, and I would love to hear from you. You know, what are some of the scenarios that you have seen in your life that you felt like you were standing at the crossroads and you needed to make a decision about what to do? And whatever decision you made, it put something else in motion. And the best thing we can do, y'all, actually is to not be super judgmental, because we are going to make mistakes. We are going to make decisions because we have been so poorly taught how to think, who we are. Many of us have been negatively programmed, like really taught that you're wrong in some kind of way. Most everybody you hear from will say they have something that happened to them where they adopted a meaning to it where they're wrong, they're bad, they're flawed in some way. And so when we are operating from being flawed, which is just, like I said, it's a story we tell ourselves, then yeah, we're going to make mistakes. One of the things I've always done is check, okay, where's my character? Day in and day out, I'm watching myself like, okay, I want to see, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? How are you talking? What are you posting on your social media? What kind of conversations are you having? And slowly but surely, I find myself saying, you know what? I've got to make the choice for good character. And again, it goes back to choice. Okay. Um, so let's see if I wanted to say anything else about this. I think that's all I'm going to just touch on. I didn't want to be on too long today. I've been on for like an hour or so the other days, but I told you I was going to come on today. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll pull a card, because y'all know I love ancient wisdom. That way you can see what I do for those who haven't seen me do readings. Um, but yes, it's honestly my new passion and rave is, how dependent can I be on my Ori? How much can I co-create? Because that is very important. I believe in empowerment. I don't believe in, um, hoping everything will come our way. No, we co-create. Our job is to tell spirit. Well, yeah. See, this is what I think. Look at me. I'm getting back into it. This is my position. Our our missions are in us. We picked out some missions, and y'all know I love astrology for understanding missions. Now, there's other ways like divination, using oracle decks or whatever, psychics. It's other ways, but Yeah, I know I love science. So astrology is a science. And so I can tell people this is what your mission is. Like I can look at your chart literally and see what your mission is. Now, the specifics of the mission, I may not see all of that because I mean, like everybody's got to live their life, right? So I believe the mission is in there. So we're letting our Ori, we're letting spirit know, hey, I got this mission. And so the inspiration is Ori or the higher self showing you how to walk that thing out. How do you make that mission manifest? Okay. So um it's important for us, like I said, this is my new passion. Is just I'm like, Ori, you call my mission is to be here. I chose to come here and be a diviner. I chose to come here and share ancient wisdom. Is what I know. Is I'm naturally like this. I always have been ever since I was a little girl. I've been psychic and intuitive ever since I was a little girl. And so now I call on my co-creator, which is my higher self, first of all, to show me, okay, where am I still so blocked that I'm not doing what I said I came here to do, but also to show me the steps, to show me the next steps to take. But again, y'all, for me, it's like you just have to stay on your game. Okay. So this is deep. Emish. Emish. This is from my Mayan Oracle. I don't use this Oracle all the time. I do love it. Hey, T Luna. How are you? I haven't been on YouTube much today, but I'm coming to like your page. I have not forgotten T Luna, Imhotep, M Div. We were talking to her yesterday, and she says she is about getting grounded and grateful. See, I was paying attention, teacher. I was paying attention. Okay, Imish, 45. So yeah, let me tell y'all something. A lot of us, we don't keep all this in our heads. Oh my gosh, look at this. What did I do with my card? Uh, I don't know where I put it. Anywho, Imish, I showed it to you. So it symbolizes the great mother, the mother energy. I'm just going to read a little bit to it. And let's see how much does it line up with what I've been talking about, because this is just how all of this works for me. It just flows so easily. So it says, listen to this. Y'all saw I just pulled that card. I didn't even plan on doing this. Where is my English card? I didn't even plan on doing this. Oh my goodness. Oh, here it is. Isn't that a beautiful card? Okay, check this out. We've been talking about connecting with the Ori, going within. Emish sounds a call in your life to go beneath the surface, to plumb your own primal depths. Look at that. I did not plan this. I just on the fly. I was inspired. Go to the abundant wellspring of the life force to find the nourishment for which you yearn. In trust and receptiveness is found the source of movement. And so essentially, it goes back to what we talked about, having this connection with Ori. And oftentimes, trust is how we will take that action. So, y'all remember yesterday, I showed y'all a 3-part goddess framework, and part of it is action. I didn't talk about it yesterday, but part of the framework is action. Nothing manifests without action. Nothing. And in order to do that, we have to have that trust. And then receptiveness is that ability to receive the inspiration through your intuition. It's a very receptive state of being. It's one that many of us don't trust, because we're told you better stay on your toes. It's like you better come up with your game plan. You better get these things done. But yeah, it's very important for us to make sure that we understand the power of our intuition. From the primordial waters of unity flows the spiral of eternal emergence. Allow others to give fully to you, for in that receptivity The circuit of love is completed. So this is talking about receiving, okay? Letting others help you. And that's so weird, y'all, because today I was on a call and I talked about sometimes how I get nervous about coming on. I get nervous about sending my email. I get nervous. Like, it's always like, okay, am I doing a good enough job? And, it's just, yeah, it can be very stressful when you have your own business, especially when you're new, because I'm a new entrepreneur. And I was talking about when I was a little girl, I sort of felt overwhelmed and unsupported. So to hear, hey, you need to be receptive to getting help, I'm like, okay, I need to take that in. The entire universe is made up of love. Yes, Karen. The entire universe is made up of love. Give and receive. If you are not fully receiving gifts offered by the universe, you can short circuit your connection with the natural spirals of growth. And how many of us don't receive the support of the universe? Like, I'm really on my toes. Like, oh my gosh. Give freely and unconditionally without attachment to how your gift is received. Dip into the deep well of self. See, that again goes to talking about tapping into your own inner resources, which aren't tangible necessarily. And fill your cup with sweet waters. That sounds like some Oshun right there. The maiden goddess, the beautiful and creative goddess. Offer this gift unconditionally. Trust in the situation at hand. So I guess I needed this reading because I did not plan on doing this, but I'm like, okay. Primal trust, not just trust, primal trust means making choices moment by moment with no guarantees. How many of us do that? I am in so many entrepreneur groups, they will not take action on their businesses because they want a guarantee. And it's really a form of just fear of, failure or something like that. But it's very common. People are just working stuff out in their head, working it out in their head. And so, yeah, but it's not even just about business. You know, some of us need to be getting out there, meeting people, even if it's just online. Some of us need to, um, maybe make some choices regarding our career, move to a new company, move to a new city, move to a new country, you know? Um, so, yeah, it means not trying to control the outcomes in your life. Trust your steering mechanism of heart knowing. That's just your intuition. Trust your steering mechanism of heart knowing. Trust the transformational processes that are at work in your evolution. See, when I read stuff like this, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm talking about. Because there's no way. I have not looked at this in forever. Like, it's saying exactly what I was saying earlier. So I'm like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Call on Enish, the source of life, primal waters of creation, the root source, the primordial mother, to nourish and care for you. Isn't that beautiful? So let me just say this because it's so easy to say, uh, great mother, I'm calling on you to, you know, uh, nourish me. So, what I learned, and this was largely a lesson I learned from my godmother, was that she kept saying to me, I just feel like you need some deep self care. Like, you need to go someplace where somebody's going to be taking care of you, rubbing on you. Because I don't really, we've had these conversations before about I don't all the time go get massages like I should. I probably shouldn't say should, but I feel like they're important. So And, like you need somebody to hug you, to hold you, not sexually, just in a very loving way. Um, and it wasn't really until the pandemic that I actually began to realize how this looks for me. So part of the way, and I'm gonna also say it's part of what has come to me. Like if you really want to be successful, this is what you need to do. It is take care of yourself. And so, giving myself permission because I wasn't leaving the house, I'm still not out much. And I started learning all kinds of ways of like massaging myself and taking care of, or massaging my feet is one of my favorite things to do. And doing my energy work, which is working on my meridians. And I do, what else do I do each day? Oh, I bought this, I'll show you. I bought this thing right here to do some self massage. And I've been working on my fascia and my lymph system and, making sure that what's the word? Like at the end of my shower, turn on the cold water. It just really invigorates me. I don't like doing it in the wintertime though. And taking time to meditate and do mindfulness and just spend all this time really loving on myself. It has taken me so long to really figure out, how do I call on Yamanja to take care of me? She like, you take care of yourself. Y'all know one of the things I'll say is we sitting up here begging, pleading for the divinities to help us. They like, baby, we gonna meet you 50% of the way. We need you to do your part. I was so negligent of myself. And if you're Pisces, honestly, y'all, Pisces, we have to guard against negligence. We don't mean to be negligent, but it's just the energy of this sign lends itself to being very negligent. It's like we're not in tune until sometimes it's just way too late. We spend, if we're not healthy, especially, we spend a lot of time escaping. And so then we're not doing all the things that we need to do. So, you know, that's what it looks like. It's like go book a spa day. Or let's say if you aren't feeling well and your friend says, can I bring you soup? Don't think, oh, I don't want to put her out. And, I just feel like I'm just a burden because I'm sick. See, that's not an example of letting the mother take care of you. How does the mother take care of you except through other people, right? So I just wanted to give that because it's so easy to talk about these kinds of things, you know, just reading these words, but it's like we have to have actual application. Okay. In truly accepting this reservoir of sustenance, you will have unlimited resources to care for others as well as yourself. Remember that you are always embraced in the arms of the divine, no matter what the exterior circumstances of your process or situation. I just want to read that one more time. I feel like that's comforting, and it goes back to what I talked about before. We all have our higher selves, and they are specifically here for us. It's not one Ori. No, you have yours. I have mine. Everybody has their own personal Ori. Remember that you are always embraced in the arms of the divine, no matter what the exterior circumstances of your process or situation. And that is what I call the beauty of the reframe, that we can choose no matter what's going on around us. And this is what I learned in connecting with my higher self, is that no matter what, I have my Ori here with me, and it it could look real bleak, but if I just stand firm, I know I'm immersed in wisdom. I know I'm immersed in love, and you can make the same choice. It really gives the situation a different look. It feels different. It seems different. So I hope that this has been helpful. Thank you so much. I do want to remind you that I have, and I'll put this here again, um, mini readings in May is what I'm calling it. These are shorter readings that I do, and they are recorded, but they pack a powerful punch. It's all about getting your personal wisdom into your hands so that you can navigate all of whatever's happening in your life. Man, I don't assume bad things are happening. I'm assuming good things are happening. But I will tell you, I've seen a lot of stuff going on that's just breaking my heart with other people's lives. So not everybody is like feeling happy and joyful. But yeah, it's always so nice to have a roadmap. And so that's what these mini readings are. And they are affordable for, most everybody to be able to get one. If you haven't been able to get one of my other readings, and I don't always offer these. So I'm excited that I was able to bring them back. And so, yeah, you can just get more information at the links in the description box or in the comments on the live. So, thank y'all. I appreciate you. Hope that you have enjoyed this. Let me know what stood out for you regarding connecting to the higher self, living according to our to good character, or using good character as a guide for how we grow and develop, and being open and receptive to receiving love, receiving care, just receiving from others. So love y'all. Thank you all so much for being here. And yeah, I will be back again very, very soon. More than likely tomorrow. All right. I'll see you. Take care. Thank y'all. Peace and love.